to the first episode of the Forward Observer, a podcast from Krieger Gaming. I'm your host, Will. You might know me as Idiotly Gaming, and I'm here with two of the original founders of Krieger Gaming, back when it was just a gaming group. We have our very own Nightwolf and the founder himself, the boss man, Mr. Jordan Baghdadi. Everyone, give him a hand.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. Hi, nice to be here.
Hey guys, the first episode. So, Krieger recently had its first birthday as a not-for-profit. So that's crazy. And also today, it's Jordan's birthday. So happy birthday, Jordan. You old bastard.
Thank you very much.
Happy birthday,
I'm a
happy
big
birthday.
33 today.
33 years young.
With some racing stripes of salt
Yeah,
and pepper
look-
here from the
look-
military.
Helps me go faster with my knee problems.
Oh, knee problems. Speaking about knee problems.
Yeah, knee
Mm.
problems, yes. Everybody
Getting
just says
so
there's
crunchy.
yes. Yeah. If I was a Skyrim character, I would immediately fail all the stealth checks just going into crouch mode. Just fuck. It sounds like someone just popping bubble wrap. What was that? Oh no, I'm fucked. All right. So when did you guys start Krieger?
Man, that was Battlefield 3, right? Or was it
Yeah.
Bad Company 2? I think it was like right at the beginning of Battlefield 3 when that came out.
Yeah,
So that was
so
like 2008?
8?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah,
That
it
was
was like
2011.
2007, 2000.
It was 2011. Yeah, we looked this up last night.
No kidding. Yeah, so
Yeah.
we started in Bad Company 2. And so it was kind of a small group then, and Bad Company 2 led into Battlefield 3, and that's when the group kind of took off. And yeah, God, it was not everybody stayed together. Like Sarah kind of disappeared, and like there was a bunch of people. Matt's still here, but Matt is in Kuwait, so he's
Yeah.
asleep. John is on the road right now. He's going to try to jump in, but probably not. But it's pretty much just it's just us.
Yeah,
So-
I joined when it became a thing in Battlefield 3, and there was just a handful core group of people. And it was just funny by chance just seeing, oh, join this clan, whatever, and I really liked the vibe. And from there we just took off, like Jordan said. The core group kind of stayed together, which is himself, John, myself, and Matt. And then over the years, after everything's kind of got crazy, we kind of kept in touch through Facebook.
Okay.
Keeping some of the core people, and just talking back and forth and trying to game with each other. And then finally, just fate has it took off where we started this Discord.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice. Dude, Battlefield 3
it's
was that
interesting.
game. That was that
Dude,
game. I remember
I
when we
miss it
came
every day.
back from deployment, like everybody in the barracks got an Xbox 360 and we all got Battlefield 3. And then so my first unit, when we got back from deployment, the 172nd was getting cased. So yeah, there was stuff to do, but there really wasn't stuff to do, if you get my meaning. There wasn't a lot coming on the training schedule. Everybody was PCSing or they were ETSing out of the unit or stuff like that. And we would use Battlefield 3 as an excuse for hip pocket training. Like no shit.
Well,
like all the FOs.
We kind of did the same. to be
Yeah,
honest. We would have
yeah.
a time where we would tell people how to buy rooms and enter rooms and all those things.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because the reason I found Jordan and John and all them was because they had their own server. It was like, great, Krieger, join. And I was like, well, this sounds cool. Let's fucking join. And they went from there. But yeah, it was funny because we did the same. We had like training nights and all this other
Yeah,
crazy
all
crap.
any excuse to get out of work and go play Battlefield. I mean, I have one of my really good deployment friends. We called him Big Scout. He's this huge dude from Kentucky, and he sounded like what's the Trace Atkins The country single trace that the
Yeah.
honky tonk, but donk donk. That's how he sounded. And he would never call me by my last name. My last name is Darnell. And he would just say Daryl. Hey Daryl. And he loved flying the helicopter. And do you guys remember the co-op missions on there? Like you could do the co-op missions and stuff.
Those were fun.
I remember me being back in the States. I had PCS to Fort Polk. And I'm still trying to play.
Apparently.
Oh God, it's so bad. You just takes your Army career and just stabs it right in front of you and be like, you just talk to the retention officer, can I go somewhere else? They're like, no, you're locked in for 3 more years. Anyway, so but I remember like one of the funniest moments I ever had in gaming was in Battlefield 3. And we were doing that we were doing that helicopter mission on the hardest difficulty, and he was the pilot and I was the gunner, and we're just using that 30 mil cannon. We're just having fun. We're kind of talking like we're really doing it, just trying to get into the mood, whatever, because we've heard it plenty enough on the radio. And all of a sudden his internet cuts out and the helicopter just slowly starts descending into the middle of all these enemies, and all I have control of is the gun. And I'm just like, Gibson! And he comes back in to me screaming, Gibson! To the point where someone, CQ came and knocked on my door. They're like, hey, D, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine, I played Battlefield. Just the nerdiest moment, but oh my gosh, I still think about that every time we play 2042. And me and you
I always wanted them to remake Battlefield 3, dude.
I don't know. They might.
That game is insane.
I don't think we could get it back. I don't think we could get it back. Okay, so
they don't make games like that anymore.
No, they don't. They don't.
No.
Imagine Bad Company being made again. Like
that would be cool.
I feel like
I'd do that. I mean, kind of tried that with 2042, but.
No, 2042 lagged. I felt like they just tried to be too cocky with their stuff, and they took away from the Battlefield. They started Battlefield 5 is when they started to veer away from what Battlefield really was.
Yeah.
Because Battlefield 1 was the last great Battlefield. I enjoyed the hell out of Battlefield 1. Actually,
Battlefield 1 was beautiful.
It's
yeah, so pretty.
Game. Actually, that first introduction mission, dude, you made you you were like, holy shit.
Yeah. You're just like, oh my god,
dude, that was crazy. So,
dude, when they announced that game, I'm like, how are they going to make a World War I game fun? Like, you're going to have a bolt-action rifle, you're going to be staring at some Germans, shooting one round at a time, and it's like, that game is like, it's like playing a movie. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I kind of want to buy that again.
Yeah.
Put it on the computer just for that.
This podcast brought to you by Game Pass. No, I'm just kidding.
I wish.
Xbox, you're hearing this.
Nuts.
I got it on, bro. I'll set you up.
Yeah, there you go. Oh man.
Hell yeah.
So it's always been rooted in veterans because Jordan, you were in the Coast Guard. What were you in, Wolf?
I'm actually been a first responder for 10 years, and I'm actually halfway to getting with the Coast Guard Reserve right now, actually.
Okay. So first responder. Oh, man.
Yes.
You were like, let's do it. And you just went in there, didn't you? Let's do it. And
it wasn't always that. I was trying to go Air Force. I was trying to be a pilot, actually.
You're trying to be a pilot? Man.
Yes.
Like as an FO, and just to say, the name of this podcast, I have to address it, Jordan, was not my idea.
That was my idea.
It was Jordan's idea.
To be honest, the name rolls off the tongue really good. I was like, yeah, this sounds nice. This is a nice sounding podcast.
It just sounds like I'm trying to break my arm, beating myself off. Like it's like I was an FO. Look at me.
I'm hoping
that is
from
me.
Experience. That's from experience we're talking about.
Just sitting there, man. That's some hard loving if you break your arm doing it. That's a story. So from masturbation to the founding of a not-for-profit for veterans' mental health.
I mean,
So,
one might help the other, I guess.
yeah,
I guess.
for reasons, I guess. You got to get that dopamine somehow, brother.
Relieving yourself might help with the mental health. So there you go.
Oh no, the crisis line.
We'll find a way to tie it in.
We'll find
a way to tie it in.
Just tie it in. It all comes together.
Energy.
Synergy. Jab hands. Synergy. Anyway.
Yes.
No, my God. No, you're from California. You'll do that way too well. Anyway, so. So what made you, because I remember I joined last year in like early October. I joined Krieger. I saw a Facebook ad for it or something, and I joined. There wasn't a lot of people here, but it was popping. It was pop locking and dropping in here. Huge. I mean, it was like a Cardi B video, just nasty in here. And you just put it in, and so like. And just seeing and then hearing this guy Jordan coming on here, hey guys, we're so glad you're here, and like things were changing every day. We're getting a whole bunch of stuffs. We weren't getting a whole bunch of stuff, and then like you finally like settled on something, and then boom, you announced it in November, right before. It was November, right? Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was November 2nd is when our Articles of Incorporation came back.
Yeah, time and his illusion, but yeah, it was November 2nd, and you guys, you announced that you were an official 501c3, and like that was crazy. And then, so tell me about that experience, and then going forward on how this first year has gone.
So that was interesting because I had never started a business before. And when all of us got into this, it was Johans, myself, John, and Matt. And it's like, hey, let's make a Discord server. Cool. Okay, we got that. Hey, how about we make a nonprofit? And they're like, okay, yeah, let's give it a try. And so like, I just went in with this without having any clue what I was doing at all. Damn. And so, I mean, I was paperwork because I was aviation in the Coast Guard, and aviation is nothing but paperwork. So you change a bolt, and it takes, let's say 30 minutes, get the tool, change the bolt, put it back on. Then you have like an hour and a half of paperwork for that one bolt to make sure everything's recorded. And so it just kind of came with the territory, I guess. I looked into it. I found a bunch of resources like how to start a 501c3, and all of them had different ways of doing it, and the IRS had some stuff. So I really just made it up as I went along until eventually all the paperwork was filed, and then the IRS and the state of California came back and they're like, oh yeah, guess what? You're real. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
I have been noticed.
The corporation back. And so I mean, the mission's up. There's the kitty.
There you go.
Cats do.
Yeah.
Kitty. Are you doing something?
Not
Pet the kitty.
anything. Yeah.
Pet the kitty.
Not
It's
good
that you
there.
can't let me stand in front of it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We're using this by now.
I mean, we just kind of Krieger back in the day. It sort of just grew organically.
Mhm.
Like we had our server. We're just playing Battlefield, and we were recruiting people, and after a while, we all kind of figured out that everybody that was joining was predominantly veterans and first responders. And so the community just kind of grew on its own. And right there at the end, we weren't even advertising anymore. The reason we kind of shut it down is I think it was when the Xbox One came out and the PlayStation 4, and the whole group kind of split in half between those two consoles.
Man.
All of us were Xbox 360, and then we all separated because of those two consoles. And I ended up going to Coast Guard boot camp right about that time too, so everything just kind of got put on hold. We came back, we did some stuff together for a little bit, but it didn't really grow like it had been growing until, I mean, last year, when it's like, hey, you know what? Those were good times. Like that was super cool. Like when one of us had a bad day or we just needed to unwind, like we could just jump on there and just play and just talk about it. And it was just a support community, and it just became that on its own. And so we incorporated to do that. And yeah, like you said, like the first couple months of this organization were pure chaos. The Discord server was changing every day. Everything was just like all the channels were coming in, and they would all disappear, and then they'd come back, and it was just wild. But yeah, and it's like we kind of settled on our current system. We had to go through a lot to get here. We went through some drama. I'm sure you guys will remember some of the problems that we tried to like incorporate military ranks into it, kind of be kind of
Oh my
fun. People didn't like
gosh.
that, so we got rid of them. And then we became what we are now, and it's just a bunch of volunteers that all believe that we're doing what we can. And I think we kind of are. Like,
Yeah.
it's a really great feeling. I've had people come up to me in this group and just tell me how much this group means to them, and it's hard for me to describe what that means to me. It means a lot because I lost a couple friends to suicide. I lost
Yeah.
my friend Drew Willis, who was a corpsman in the Coast Guard, and he seemed like the happiest guy until one day he wasn't there, and he never talked about it. He kept all that stuff in, and I had to wonder, like, if he had people that he could talk to, if that would have helped. And then one of my shipmates from Kodiak, the same thing. His wife found him. He had hung himself, and it's like at that time, that was like at the end of COVID, and I was going through my own struggles. And when I found out that Hoke had killed himself, it like put me over the edge.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
asked for help. It was like, I asked the military for help. I'm like, hey man, like I need help. Like I need to talk to somebody. Like I have a plan. Like I was going to go down to the beach with my pistol. I'm going to blow my brains out. And they're
Yeah.
like, well, you know, a lot of people are having trouble, man. Like we're just not worried about you. I'm like, oh,
Damn.
cool. Yeah, they did not
Man.
give two shits.
Chef's
There was
kiss.
people that cared. The people that cared didn't have any say in me getting help.
Yeah.
So they could only do so much, and from the top down, they didn't give a shit. So,
Yeah.
anyways, I had to call out to the VA crisis line, and it was about that time when we all kind of got together with Johans and John and myself. We're like, in my personal opinion, is like nobody should ever go through what I went through,
Mhm.
and so that was kind of the inspiration. So that's why I kind of tied that in there. Like I experienced something horrible.
Yeah.
My friends, if they probably experienced the same thing, because that kind of clicked, like, wow, this is how this system really is. I'm like, nope, we're making a support community. Like we're going to do as much good as we can. We're going to have a support system in check. We have buddy check here. Like we're going to have everything that we need to help people. And if we can't help them, we're going to gift them to somebody else.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a long-winded way of explaining that.
No,
but
it's not.
I hope that
It's
answered
not.
it.
This is what we call long form content, sir. You can be as long and as formed as you want. Yes. But like I completely and that's one thing that really led me to, because I broke in the military too. Like I completely shattered. I was so in high school, I was probably if you could vote for it, I was the least likely to join the military. Least likely. Long hair, emo kid, musical theater, took 4 semesters of French. Everyone was surprised I just didn't have a boyfriend. Like, it was crazy. It was crazy. I was such a soft-hearted, like, good dude. And like, but like my stepdad was in the army, my stepbrother was in the army, and they toughed me up. They taught me how to like the basics of like I could take care of myself. And like I had you know, I didn't hang out with all the kind of stuff. It kind of seems like I'm covering for stuff now. Wait, I promise, guys. Anyway, but anyway, least likely, like no one thought it was real until the recruiter like called my name when we graduated, like to show everybody who was joining the army right after your high school graduation, who was the people who weren't good enough for college. Let's be honest. Hi, because I didn't take anything seriously. I was a good student, but school was boring. Like getting up and making people laugh and doing all that stuff. Like I excelled at that kind of stuff because I just loved making people laugh. But I saw how expensive college was. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So, but I knew if I wanted to go in the military, I was going into the military. And so like I scored pretty high on my ASVAB. And when I told my recruiter, you know what, I like the FO. I like that forward observer job. Sergeant Parsons closed the door and smacked me in the back of the head, saying, you scored that on the ASVAB and you want to be like just barely above a grunt. And I say, yeah, it looks cool. You get to blow stuff up. So 13 days after high school graduation, I was on a plane to Fort Knox. And then, you know, I joined this unit in Germany that just got their tanks taken away. It was an armored unit. And they got their tanks taken away. And they were told they were infantry. They were called SWATs, tankers without tanks. And and so none of us were really prepared for this deployment. And when we got back, it broke some people. Like within the first couple of weeks, we had dudes offing themselves in the barracks. It was crazy. It was crazy bad. And it, like no one knew how to handle it because like Obama had ordered this surge into Afghanistan, and like this like clear like General Mathis was CENTCOM commander, so gung ho, let's hunt these guys down. And then we get back and like the army changed while we were gone over there, completely flipped from 2011 to 2012. Everything started changing, and like I tried to stay in Germany, like, but the army lost my paperwork and then told me I was going to Fort Polk. And, you know, all my friends kept killing, like, all these guys that I knew in the unit kept offing themselves. And then you get to Fort Polk, which just kills your career. It's just horrible. It is a horrible armpit of the army place, unless you're in the Op 4 unit, the 509th Geronimo, who get to mess with people all the time. They've got it, they hate it too, but it's a little more fun. But I didn't know that my dad had severe bipolar because I didn't really know my dad that well. And I didn't know that was genetic. And I didn't know that appeared in your early 20s. And so, on top of the PTSD, what litter there would have been, the bipolar kicked in and sent that up to 1,000. And I went from a pretty decent soldier to a crap bag. And then, like 3 months before I ETS'd, I had to go to a civilian facility for 33 days. I was having flashbacks so bad that like I would have stroke-like symptoms and psychosomatic seizures. It was crazy. And they recommended me for medical retirement. Extend my contract, send me to a warrior transition unit, and medically retire me. Fort Polk said, that's too much work. He's about to get out anyway. He's lucky he's getting an honorable discharge. Because in one of my flashbacks, I trashed my barracks room. Destruction of government property. That's great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Big army. They care.
Yeah, they care. And then 3 weeks after that, I was on terminal leave. And then about 6 weeks after that, I was homeless. Yeah. And so that, and then that continued, met my wife. It's crazy, you know, how she led me to help. And it took all the way to 2018. That was 2014. It took 4 years of that, in and out of the hospital, in and out of the psych ward, like to get 100%. When they found my civilian records, what the civilian doctors recommended, I got it almost immediately. Like my VSO filed for an increase, and then 3 weeks later it was 100% permanent total. Like, it's crazy. And then, you know, but that doesn't, you know, now that you're 100%, you're not in the real world dealing with nutheads all the time. It's still there. So I went into gaming. And I've been trying to find another veteran where, like, yeah, I have my deployment buddies, but they have lives. Like, you know, they work night shifts and stuff like that. I have kids and everything. And then I found Krieger. Like, all this time, fast forward to 2022, found Krieger. And I've personally used the buddy check system. Not afraid to say that. When I'm feeling in it, when I'm feeling in my feelings, the buddy check system is there, and someone's always there within 2 minutes. It's crazy.
Dude, I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah, I know that was a long-winded. That was long-winded.
Not at all.
No, but you know what? I appreciate you sharing your testimony because, like Jordan said, we started as a gaming group from the beginning, right? And funny, like life works the way it works. We all somehow reconvene and be like, you know what, let's do this. And then ideas get thrown around, and this became what it became.
Yeah.
But him sharing his stories, you sharing yours, right? It only reinforces why we did what we did, why this group is here, and so people can also not feel ashamed of feeling these feelings. We all go through it, you know, whether you're a first responder or veteran, and that's what's unique about this community is that we bring both communities because we all share kind of similar things, right? We all experience things that most humans will never experience in their lifetimes.
Yeah.
And it's not normal, right?
Yeah.
But having that common place and that common theme with everybody and having this kind of bond so be it
Yeah.
a fucked up bond.
Yeah.
Right?
Trauma bonds,
But-
bro. Trauma bonds.
Exactly. There you go. Hey,
Yeah.
that's a
That's the
perfect word for
it's
it.
the trauma
But,
bond,
but
baby.
but this is why, you know, this is such a great group, and why we keep doing what we do, and what gives us the heart to, you know, push on, even though, like Jordan said, you know, it wasn't easy. It was a headache starting, and okay, what do we do? This is not working. We're having this drama. We're having this. Are we doing anything wrong? Should we shut this down? Should we not shut this down? But you know, we're finally fine tuning everything, and now I think it's just it's great. You know, we've got it everything, and now we got everything pretty much up and running. Now it's just nitpicking at this point. But
Yeah.
what I think, and this is why I like, yeah, your idea of this podcast is beautiful, and us on videos is putting a face to a person, because you know, we can type all day, but humans were meant for this interaction, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially like a face-to-face interaction. So video is a blessing in that case. And so I, you know, sharing this testimony, sharing these bonds, you know, seeing each other face to face, this is what it's all about. And this
Yeah.
is why this is great, because like I said, you know, it's not spoken about enough that people go through struggles, and you know, we're warriors. We're not supposed
Yeah.
to share our feelings.
You gotta be
and,
resilient,
you know,
like a
we
tennis ball. Like a tennis ball.
but what we
Resilient.
don't realize is, yes, that's only so much, but the weight kind of weighs on you. And talking
Mhm.
about it and sharing your testimony, not only does it help you, but it might help somebody that's been struggling, that just hasn't had the courage to really confide in somebody. And that's all
Yeah.
it takes, you know, is that finally, like, you know what, they might be right. And so, like I always say, you know, in the middle of the storm, a storm is temporary. At the end of the storm is always light. There's always sun. So what people got to realize is that we'll be there to help you. You know, we'll cut whatever anchor's weighing you down. We'll help you get to the other side of that storm. And we've all been through it, you know. And it's unfortunately just part of human nature, but it builds our character, and that's what people got to realize.
Yeah. It's so strange. Just like coming back home and interacting. Like I came back to my hometown. Like I went, like after the army, I went out to Utah to be with my biological dad, because up until this point we had a great distant relationship. Like he would call, you know, a lot, like especially when I was in the army, we talked almost every day. And like he always sent birthday cards. He wasn't absent, but he wasn't there. He was across the country. My parents split up when I was 6 months old. And so I went to go live with him because I wanted to experience life with my dad. Turns out there's a reason my mom left him. He was kind of an asshole. Just a little bit. So I left, but I didn't. I was so proud. The military makes you so proud and not ready to face failure and to go back to your rally point. And my rally point was at this point 2,700 miles away from Layton, Utah to Shelby, North Carolina. Like that's long way, and I have a Chevy Cobalt and like $4 to my name. So while they're great on gas, I don't think I was going to make it in 2014. So, but it's crazy how all that decision making, and then when I finally like met my now wife and brought her here, and then was just interacting with people who hadn't really interacted me with full time since I was 18 years old. So I had already at this point visited countries, talked with people from all around the world, made friends with people all around the world. I'm from a town that at the time I left had like 1,800 people in it. And then when I came back, they saw me as 18-year-old theater kid when I was a 22-year-old combat with a lot of problems. And so it was hard. It's hard to reconnect with your high. Like I'm really proud to say I've worked really hard on it, and I still have my friends from high school, and I love them dearly, and they're great. But some things they just don't understand. So you got to find that community of people who are just as fucked up as you are. You've got to. It's essential. As someone, like, whether you're a veteran or first responders especially, you guys have zero resources usually, unless you're like working for a badass private company. You have and even then, zero resources. I have friends.
No one trusts in the first responder community. You know, there's EAP, but you know, if you talk to anybody that's first responder, like, yeah, you know what? I didn't trust that shit because I don't want them reporting back to my department.
Exactly.
What I spoke about. Even though,
and that was
the confidential stuff.
Yeah, it's not.
That's what people think.
Yeah, because you have like where I'm from, in this small community. There he is. I see him right there. He just popped in. Get in here, you. But like,
you know who you are.
You know who you are.
He probably tell us to go fuck off.
Yeah, he is. John. He's like, I'm driving. Shut the fuck up. But
John, that's out of endearment.
Yeah, out of endearment. That's John. I always see John as the sergeant major of the organization. He is.
He definitely is.
He is.
He's like that.
He's got the John. I'm talking about you to your face, and it's a compliment. He just sniffs out bullshit like nothing else, and it's crazy impressive. You know, it's like
actually. Funny enough, going back to like original Krieger moments, I remember if I could first joining John, and that's what I'm saying, he hasn't changed. I forgot what happened. He was just like, he's just how it is. Same shit. He sniffed out some bullshit, went on a crazy rant, and you were like, oh fuck, I better not talk to this man. This man's about to fucking shoot my head off.
He is. He's a fucking grizzled. He just reminds me of a grizzled old sergeant major. It's great. It's fantastic. But going back to first responders having no resources. So like here in like rural communities, like you can get on the back of a truck at like 15. Like just help out. You're a gopher, but you're just helping the EMT and the paramedic. And sometimes you're pulling your friends out of fucking cars when you're 16 years old. And there's like in like the local Baptist chaplain comes by and prays with you and says, okay, y'all have a good one now. Keep up the good work. We really appreciate you, and walks away. Well, how are you supposed to deal with that? These kids' brains aren't even fully formed yet, and they're pulling dead kids out of cars and seeing people wrapped around trees and shit. And it's crazy. And it breeds a different kind of person. I've got several friends who have been EMTs and paramedics for a long time, like before they graduated high school, and they are like, man, it's like to enough get me a point where I check in. Like I use the stuff that I've developed and noticing my triggers, my symptoms, and how to treat them, and go to them, because I know that they're just like you said, they don't want to tell nobody. You know, like last year, we unfortunately had a trooper get run over by his brother, who was another trooper responding to a call. And it was horrific. And these guys were really well known in the community and really well known by all my first responder friends. And it was like 5:30 in the morning, and I got the call. And I said, where are you guys at? They're like, we're at the station. And I put on my shoes, and I put on something decent. I didn't show up in my bathrobe, but I went there, and I went to be with them because they were devastated. And no one else showed up to support these guys. These guys that go through, like, I'm telling you as someone who's been legitimately shot at and seen some horrific shit. If you're in this chat right now and you're an EMT, firefighter, or police officer, my fucking hat goes off to you. That is hardcore shit. And don't let anyone fucking tell you any different. If you're a volunteer, full-time, EMT, paramedic, don't give one shit. Y'all are crazy. You're fucking crazy.
But you gotta be a little.
You gotta be a little crazy.
That job.
You gotta be a little crazy.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you actually bring up a good point that I'll touch upon. Right. What people don't realize is when you're a first responder, on the police side, up to 12-hour shifts. Obviously, on the fire side, up to 24. Done both, so I speak from both communities. you can start a shift, first call off the bat, dead kid, dead person, whatever, and then you still have 23 hours or
Yeah.
11 hours to go. And you gotta act like everything's normal. The next call could be, hey, yeah, someone called because they're having a neighbor dispute over the dog shit in the lawn, and you just saw this dead kid, had to deal with it. Now you're 10-8 back on service dealing with this crap, and you're like, you gotta be status quo, and that it's day in day out. So you bring up a good point is that people don't realize the nature of the job. I mean, I've lost count, but I've probably seen just as many dead bodies as a small town population at this point.
Yeah. Damn.
Just doing the job in two highly populated metropolitan cities. I did fire in Metro Atlanta, and then I've been police in South Florida. So
Damn.
two areas that are not run of the mill, but that's so what I'm saying is people don't realize just how much because first responders actually have to deal with and go through it and put on a smile and they oh well fuck that cop or fuck that or firefighters are lazy, they sit in a chair and it's like no, you don't realize just how much we do and go through and when we show up to your house what we've had to experience the last couple hours during the shift.
Yeah, man.
Before I go home and decompress, and then you have to come home, decompress, be a normal person, and then okay, strap your boots back on next day and be like, all right, it's back on, and fighting crazy people, the this or that.
You can't catch me.
You get those occasional excited delirium ones. Yes.
Yeah, you're just like, oh god, is he gonna shit on me or have a heart attack? Let's play the fucking bingo. Shit on me or heart attack? Where's one?
But I mean, in the nature of the job changes, and you need special people to do it. To be honest, you need people that are willing to just remember why they got into it, because the job will burn you out. You're seeing now more like people just being burnt out. Even in the first year, they're like, "Fuck this shit, I'm gone." Having agents are having retention issues throughout the country because
it's so crazy.
The pay those benefits ain't worth the shit you go through.
Yeah, it isn't worth shit. I remember before I was disabled, so Facebook has a server headquarters in the town next to mine. It's huge server headquarters, and then conspicuously right behind it is some form of federal building. I don't know what it is. You can draw the conclusion.
Won't get into that one.
Well, we won't get into that, please. FBI, open up.
Listen. Just be careful. You might have a band.
I was waiting for Jordan to do the soundboard. But they were but they were offering armed security, and I was like, I can do armed security. Shit, that's easy. That's easy. I go, well, how much will I be making? They looked me dead in the face and said $13.50, and you have to shoot to kill and not let anyone in here. And I said, for $13.50, you want me to shoot somebody? I'll think about it. Like but it's so crazy that you don't really make any money unless you go private contractor, I was looking at doing that before I met my wife, and she shot that shit down real quick. Well, one, it would have been horrible for me. I would have been on the news somewhere. My PTSD riddled ass going back to the Middle East, man, that's a war crime waiting to happen. And then, but I was looking at working on container ships, as security from pirates and stuff. I had friends who were already doing it. They were making a fuck ton of money. Just raking it in. They're like, dude, hardly if anything happens, we just shoot water cannons at them. That sounds fun. You want to shoot a pirate with a water cannon? That sounds fun. So I don't care who you are. They should do that. You know what? Disney's having some money problems. Shoot water cannons at pirates. There you go. You can replace the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. I heard Johnny Depp's needing some work and everything. They need to apologize to him anyway. Just pay him a bunch of money just to run around oh no, where's all the rum? It'd be great.
Oh god.
It would be great. But you don't make none of y'all make what you're worth. But then the question is, how the hell, like, here in the state, they added like a 0.1 cent tax on something, and it was enough to give all the fire departments like brand new trucks. Like some of these guys some of these poor volunteer fire department were rolling around in like trucks from the 80s, like you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're just sitting there.
Mine had one from the 80s.
Yeah,
it was bad.
It's so bad. You know, they're sitting there and be like, what? Like, I couldn't remember a time growing up where I didn't see a fire truck at the diesel mechanics in town. Like, there was a fire truck always there, and they were always broken down. Well, now they got brand new facilities, and it's fantastic and everything. And people fucking complained. They're like, why do they need all this new stuff? And I'm like, why do you need 8,000 ho-hos, Becky? What do you want? You know? See, you're gonna lose your feet, and then we're gonna have to pay for you to get one of them daggum scooters. I shouldn't toss stones in that glass house. I'm quite fat, and but I need a scooter because service related injuries, and that's my excuse. That's what I'm going with.
Let's keep pitching. One's gonna stick.
Nah, seriously.
Like Becky's hose to her stomach.
Oh my gosh. She's like, I can hold him right there. I can hold him right there. I don't even have to move or put him on the table. I'll put him right there. I also have my Irish cherry right there. This is a Winston one.
Helping her either.
This Winston 100 household, honey. Oh man, y'all don't know. Like, I mean,
smoke too from the neighbors that I used to have.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the Winston.
Oh no, I grew up.
The two, when they mix in the air, it's just ghetto magic right here.
Yeah, ghetto magic. Yeah, it's like Vicks Vapor Rub, but more cancerous.
It clears the nostrils in a bad way.
It kind of hurts, actually.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I'm not a smoker, so not me.
I mean, I enjoy it.
You can't talk bad about Vicks to a Spanish person, right?
That's
no. That's like holy water. That's like holy water us, all right?
Listen, my mama was a single mama nurse. I never went to doctor. Vicks Vapor Rub, ginger ale, and chicken noodle soup. That's all you got.
Oh, yeah.
Because the doctors hated dealing with my mama. They hated because she knew her shit. And she wasn't about, like, if I'm going to the doctor, I'm fucking sick. Like, I'm dying. Like, she's already, like, put something in me somewhere that's not normally supposed to go and made sure I was sick. She's like, boop. Oh, you really do have a fever? Yeah, I do, Mama. Get it out. You weirdo. And but she never did that. I don't know why I said that. I'm sorry, Mama, if you ever watched this. She never checked. Anyway, that we know of.
God.
But yeah, Vicks Vapor Rub, like, but now I'm no total bitch when it comes to Vicks Vapor Rub. I put it on my chest and I'm like, it's really spicy. I like turn into like some kind of Baptist grandma. Did you put black pepper in this macaroni and cheese? It's spicy. It's spicy. I don't think I can handle it, Cheryl. I don't think I can. And like growing up in the South, like, cigarette smoke was just an air freshener. Like, that's just how it was. Everyone smoked. Your doctor smoked. Your fucking doctor smoked. I literally have seen my doctor go outside and be like, yeah, you really need to watch them sodas.
Yeah.
You're like, thanks, doc. But growing up, it was a different time. So now that we're back on track here and we're trying to keep this under an hour, well, not under an hour, but an hour. So tell us about some of the accomplishments that the organization has had.
The accomplishments. Well, I mean, the biggest one is, I think, Buddy Check. So we started recording. We don't have an accurate number, first off, because we protect user privacy. So if there is a conversation that doesn't start or finish through the Buddy Check program, if it's just like a DM or something like that, we don't record it. So it's only the bot records every time somebody uses that system. So we have 120 uses of that on its own. We probably have double or triple that in actual uses of Buddy Check. And I think that right there is an accomplishment. Because I kind of went into this like I had no idea what we're going to do. I didn't know if it was going to be successful or not. And I was like, you know what? If we help even one person, I think that's worth it. Like,
Yeah.
we're here to have fun. We're here to be a support community. If we help somebody, that's awesome. And it's been pretty amazing just how often Buddy Check has been used. So I say that is right there. That's success to me. That's like that is completing the mission, which is to stop suicide by providing the support that people need. And talking about just really quick, like talking about support, like first responders don't have unified support like veterans do, because like the military is nationwide. So all of the programs that support veterans are available pretty much across the country, like the VA, federal government, anything like that. Like you can find something somewhere that is supported by the federal government or at least endorsed by it as like, go to these people and get help. So when we started making this, it's almost impossible to find anything like that for first responders. And if you do find something like that, like there's law enforcement nonprofits that do that, but it's only for a specific state or it's only for a specific department or a specific area, and it doesn't serve anybody outside of that simply because they can't, because they have too much going on. So back on track with what we're accomplishing, I think just being here and just having Buddy Check has been amazing because it's used by everybody. It's used by veterans and first responders. The other thing that I think is successful is that people are just, we're here, meeting, making friends, having people to talk to that's just a normal conversations, normal gaming experience where people are just reconnected in a community and having fun, which is what we're all about. Like we are first and foremost a community. And so the fact that people are here, that people like it, that is also success. And I want to just keep that going. I don't know how big we're going to get. I don't have a number. I don't care how big we can get.
Yeah.
I just want to help as many people as we can. And if that number is in the thousands, cool. If we kind of taper out and we just have a good community that we're helping, that's cool too. Like we're about the mission. We're not about growth. We're not about a brand. We want to grow our brand to help people, and that's it. That's it. So
because the whole point, like Jordan alluded to, like when we first made Krieger, right, was to build that community, like get on, be excited about, oh, you know, I got my friends coming on and playing a game and sharing experiences. And that's what this was all about, right? And now it grew even further in its reaches and in its missions. But the core is what Jordan says, the community, right? Get our members to make those memories, like the I call it the golden age of gaming, and
Yeah,
you know, make these
it was.
connections.
It was.
Yeah,
It really was.
but make these connections, right, and make friends and just get excited about gaming again. Because I forgot if it was Jordan, whoever posted, just said, you know, we get on sometimes to game to kind of escape a little bit of reality, kind of just completely take our mind off the outside world and kind of just focus on having fun, and that's what this is about. And if we can help people through gaming, then 100%, 1000%, every ounce of our time is worth it. But the community is our main goal, and then we've been excited and happy to see how much everyone has gotten along, how much it's grown, and the legs it has taken. And what people got to realize is that we're only as good as our members. So the people coming to us with suggestions and really caring about this community as much as we do makes us happy. I think that's an accomplishment, right? Because then people feel that connection, they feel at home. And it's like, wow, this is awesome. Who would have thought that a simple idea of, hey, let's kind of like get the band back together. Kind of,
we're getting the band back together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, that's the cool part. It honestly is. And that's what makes all of this worth it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I agree with that. That was well said.
That was a good answer. Shit. What am I supposed to do after that?
Night work for PR.
Night work for PR. There you go.
Tell you,
man. That's another. That's the thing. And just recently being brought behind the scenes and seeing how the sausage is made And I said that before, and think not what was like sausage was made. Seeing how the liver mush is ground, as we say it where I'm from, if you want to get real hillbilly about it. But seeing the talent and the eye and the ability to network blows my mind away. There's a reason I'm called Idiotly Gaming. I am barely functional as a human being. I was in rural North Carolina public school. I'm lucky I can read. All right. I'm gonna be fairly honest with you. Some words are a little, you should have heard me try to speak French for 4 semesters. I took 4 semesters of it. And at the end I got it. But at first it was a lot of je m'appelles and bonjours. But you know, just seeing.
Say you like crepes. Say you like crepes.
You like crepes. Say you like crepes. What are crepes? I ain't saying I like that. Wait, Ricky, you might. That was filmed in my hometown.
Was it really?
Parts of that movie are filmed in my hometown.
What's a crepe? They're like real.
They're like the real things. They put fruit and stuff in. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I like those. That is like people. Like I watched that movie and I'm like, oh yeah, I grew up with people like this. I did.
I love that movie.
Oh man,
so that's why I had to take advantage. I'm sorry,
you had to.
I had to take advantage.
It's okay
to quote it.
It's always time. It's always time. It's always time for Talladega Nights. All right.
Exactly.
It's always time. Listen, if you don't like Old Spice, fuck you. All right. No. It was Big Red. It was Big Red chewing room.
If you don't choose Big Red,
then fuck you. I lost my shit. That's one of the last movies I watched with my grandmother before she passed away. My little bitty Baptist grandma, and she was cackling laughing, just cackling. Like NASCAR is so big where I live. Like growing up, my grandparents' neighbor had like Dale Jr.'s hood on his garage. Because he had worked as an EMT in the pits for so long, he knew the Henderson racing family and got it. Like there's people who he just work like, oh yeah, but you know, my dad knows Richard Petty. You're like, your dad knows who? Oh yeah, my uncle in Kannapolis cuts the Earnhardt's grass. What? And you know, growing up, like it's, you know, they're stereotypes exist for a reason. And let me tell you, all the redneck ones are right. They are absolutely right. They are absolutely. I've seen every single one of. Name one, I've seen it. It's crazy. But guys, we're coming up on 57 minutes, so we're gonna cut it. Like cut the stream right here. I just want to thank everyone who has watched up to this point, either live or later. That we really enjoyed you guys stopping by. And if you're interested in this organization, you're not a part of it, it's the first time you're even seeing it, you're like, what is Krieger Gaming? They're not all as weird as I am. Almost, but not quite. You're going to be safe. So if you look down there in the description, you'll see links to our Facebook pages, our Twitter, our Instagram, and our Discord, where you can find a whole community of people that love to just play games, whether you're a veteran, first responder, or just a civilian that supports either one of those things. We love having the support. We love having people there, and we would really, really enjoy you coming and being part of our community. And with that, you have a good one. Stay blessed.